Hey guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on the 40k show, the only 40k show, the only one that matters anyway. And be honest, how many of you are here to see if the video was working? You can be honest. You can be honest and tell me. There's already been comments in the chat. I've seen it. I've seen what you're saying before I even started. Thank you everyone for joining us on this live stream. As I've said before, every Monday 21:30 we're doing a live stream, and as you saw last week, even without video, we'll still do that live stream. But this time it seems to be working, and it has everything to do with all of you guys and the super chats from last week and the subs on Twitch and the fact that you just threw money at the problem and helped me purchase a new piece of technology. I have a new capture card fitted to the computer, so there's no need for USB. So that whole thing about control panels, we fixed it. We fixed it. Brand new capture card, HDMI straight in, and it will work all night, I hope. So thanks very much for joining us. I'm happy. I'm super happy that it's working. And another reason why I'm super happy is because we did also manage to do the first ever DCTV live stream on Saturday in the deployment zone. We did a first ever live battle report, and it went well as well, which is amazing. All these purges are coming in. I'm assuming is from Valrak. I have no idea. If it is, thanks Sam, but you're still an arsehole and no one really knows who you are. That's it, right? That's it. But thanks to everyone who's joining and purging and absolutely slamming the chat from YouTube. Brilliant. Sam's such a dick, but we love him anyway. So thanks very much for joining us tonight. And tonight what we're going to talk about is this. So we've got the new Warzone Charadon book from Games Workshop, right? They sent it through to me to review, and I've had a brief look at it, and I looked at it a little bit today, and I got really fucking angry, to be honest with you, with the book. And I'll explain a little bit more in a minute as to why I got angry. So there's tons of content in these books. There's a load of narrative in these books. And I think I spoke about book one when it came through, when Games Workshop sent it through. And I said, actually, the campaign stuff is really good. And the same can be said for this book. The campaign content in the Warzone Charadon book, I'm really keen on. They give you Games Master rules. So people can basically dungeon master 40k campaigns and stuff. They give you campaign extra abilities and things that you can strap onto your armies and to your blokes. It's just loads of really good content for you to run a narrative campaign with your mates. And it's also, like, historically Games Workshop did loads of you have to have Tyranids and you have to have this army, and there's none of that. So it's actually really inclusive. And for that alone, I'm super happy that they've done that. I think that's really, really good. And if they'd have left it there, I'd be really happy. There is a caveat to that, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Games Workshop haven't left it there. They give you extra rules in the Warzone Charadon book, which you would think is good value for money, right? Apart from the fact that... I'm trying to stay calm. Apart from the fact that some of the rules that they chuck into the Warzone Charadon books are for, or Charadon as they call it, which is correct. Charadon or Charadon. They call it Charadon, so I should probably call it Charadon. Part of the problem is, they put rules in there for factions that have got 9th edition codexes or have very recently received 9th edition codexes. So specifically in Book of Fire, they've got additional rules for Admech and additional rules for the Adeptus Sororitas, or Sisters of Battle. Now for me, when they've just released those codexes, or they've recently released those codexes, that's a dick move. That's a money-grabbing move, and I don't understand why those rules weren't included in those codexes in the first place. Now, they already did this. Book 1, they did this already. And they chucked into Book 1 Death Guard rules, and they chucked into Book 1 Drakari rules. So if you wanted to play a specific Drakari cult, you had to buy Warzone Charadon, which came out the same day the Drakari book came out. That's naughty. Huge thanks for the subscribe, R.R. Grimnar in Twitch. Absolute legend, subscribing for a month on Twitch. That's, you what a hero, thank you. People like you are going to keep this stream going regularly and not make me just cry in a corner when things like my camera break. But yeah, so in the first book, they put in the Drakari rules. Cult rules came out the same day as Drakari Codex. That was horrendous, and I slammed them for it in the review that we did. However, this book, they've done a similar thing with both Admech and with what's the other one that they've put in there? Sisters of Battle. And I don't understand why they do that. So if they were going to put additional rules in the Codex, if they were going to put additional rules in the campaign book for Codexes, I understand them using factions that we don't think are going to get rules for a while. So perhaps if they are at the end of the production list for new Codexes, like stick those rules in there and go, you know what, you're not going to get a Codex in the next 2 to 3 months, so we're going to stick some rules in the Warzone Charadon books, and you guys can have some additional things to play with in night, some things that might bring you up to speed. Or they could do things like, this is wild, right? But they could do things like, hey, Chaos Space Marine players, you can have your 2 wounds because your Codex might not be out for a while. So we're going to consolidate all your rules into one place. That's cool. I'm not against that. But we're also going to bring you up to speed, and you can have 2 wounds. Wild. I know it's wild, but they've pretty much proved we're going to get 2 wounds with Death Guard anyway. We pretty much know it's coming. They've basically confirmed it. So you could do that sort of thing. No. That's not the Games Workshop's way. Games Workshop way is, Sisters of Battle are out, so have some more rules, which means if you want to play that specific order, I'm not sure which one it is, but if you want to play that specific order, you have to. And by the way, for chat, if you want to ask me questions on the book later on in the video or in the stream, you can ask me questions and I can go and look them up live, because like I said, it's right here. We can have a look at it. We can have a look at the AdMech rules. We can have a look at the Sisters rules if you want to. But it's pissed me off, because to release new rules for a specific order or a specific cult for a Codex that's already come out, I just don't think that is treating your fan base well. I think that is literally trying to bleed as many pennies out of you as possible. Campaign books for me should have waited till maybe the Codex releases have happened, or like I said, just release campaign content, or at least cover Codexes that haven't got rules yet, knowing that when that Codex comes out, you then put those rules in there, right? So when that Codex comes out, you can chuck in the Order rules. You can, or if that hadn't come out yet, you could chuck in the Chaos Space Marine rules, or whatever they might be. That's not what they did. There was some new rules for a Codex that we might not see for a while in Bellacor's Army of Renown, but those rules are pretty toss. And then we go on to the piece I was most interested in, and I had a look for, and that's the Chaos Space Marine rules. And that's when I got really fucking angry, to be honest with you. So they're taking all the rules that were already in another book that I've got, and they put them in another book that I could have bought. Now, I'm supremely lucky that they send me through a preview copy, because I'm better than Valrak. So I'm supremely lucky that I get that preview copy. But some people out there, a lot of people out there, most people out there aren't that lucky. So they don't get a preview copy. And they may have purchased this book. I mean, hopefully they watch the YouTube reviewers and they go, actually, there's fuck all in here for me, and I don't need to buy this book because I've got all these Chaos rules in the previous campaign books that you released just to make more money. And they're clever enough to not buy it again. But then they might want the campaign stuff. And if you want the campaign stuff, I will go on record as to say, if you want the campaign stuff, I think the campaign stuff is really good. And I think, therefore, the book's worth purchasing for that. And if you are a Sisters player and an AdMech player and you want the campaign stuff, I think also it's reasonable value. If you're just a Sisters player or just an AdMech player, and same with Book 1, if you were just a Drakari player or just a Death Guard player, and you wanted the book just for their rules for that faction, then you're paying £30 in the UK for a book that's that thick for fucking 4 pages. No. They shouldn't do that. That's a horrible thing to do to people, and I'm so against it. And I was very vocal about it when the first book came out, and I did end on a high with that book, that the campaign rules are good, and I said please don't do it again. They've done it again, and I fear that probably do this with every Charadon book, and I just don't understand. The other thing that they've done as well, some of the Skitarii rules in the book are super strong, so you can make Skitarii Vanguard, I think it is. You can make them veterans, which means they get a 5+ invulnerable save, and they ignore blast rules for units of 20, because, you know, Skitarii currently aren't strong enough. They needed some more power, because AdMech aren't currently going 1, 2, and 3 at events across the globe. So they needed more abilities. So if you were already doing really well with your AdMech, but you thought, you know what, this isn't quite easy mode, make sure you buy Warzone Charadon. You get that easy mode button, press it, there you go, jobs are good. Event 1, no one needs to try, no one needs to turn up. So I think one of the major things that annoy me about this, I'm a Chaos Space Marine player. For those of you that are new to the channel because you've come in from Valrax, firstly, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolute legends. But if you're new to the channel, my primary faction is Chaos. I'm a World Eaters player at heart. Have been for quite a long time. And I've always felt a little bit as a Chaos player like we get slowly but surely, swiftly kicked in the bollocks for being a Chaos Space Marine player. And what I mean by that is, Brom, my best friend who I play frequently, is a Space Marine player, right? They get tons of stuff. They get tons and tons of units, rules, models, supplements, etc. They get all the toys, everything. And the book is, Space Marine book is actually, I think, I would argue, is relatively balanced. There's lots of combinations. You can put multiple different Space Marine lists together and do okay, and perform okay on the tabletop. I don't feel like Chaos are in the same place, and they haven't been for a long time. So I was already really pissed off in 8th edition when they released Chaos Space Marine version 2, which wasn't version 2. There wasn't much in the way of differences in Chaos Space Marine version 2, really. That annoyed me straight away. So then when they consolidated all the current Legion rules into this single book, after they were already released in a campaign book previously, I think it was Psychic Awakening or something, or it might be Vigilus. When they released those rules previously, again, I was happy, right? World Eaters have got some specific World Eaters traits and relics and Warlord traits. That's cool. Same for Black Legion, same for Word Bearers, same for Night Lords. That's really sweet that they're getting that. That's good. That's the direction you should definitely be going in, is giving these legions more specific rules. Because at the moment, we're in a place where you get a Space Marine Codex, which is thicker than most books because of the choices that's in there. Get it? They're the poster boy. And then you get a supplement for Eldar, not for Eldar, for Ultramarines. You get a supplement for Death Watch. You get a supplement for Dark Angels. You get a supplement for Blood Angels. Separate books, extra rules, extra stratagems, extra units, bespoke units to those chapters. And I get that the Blood Angels are different to the Dark Angels, are different to the Ultramarines in how they operate, and how they work, and how they do or don't adhere to the Codex Astartes, etc. So I get that they need different books. But are you telling me that the World Eaters are really similar to the Night Lords, or that the Death Guard are really similar to the Thousand Sons? Well, we know the latter two are completely different. Of course they are. They've got their own codexes, not even supplements, but codexes. But World Eaters, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, they're also crazy different. Throw in their Emperor's Children, they're also crazy different. They could at least have supplements. I've been screaming for a World Eaters Codex and for an Emperor's Children Codex for forever, because I think they also need their own flavour and their own book. And maybe we'll get him in 9th, who knows. But this gave us nothing to go by. This gave us nothing but the rules that were already on or in the previous supplements. They don't even, as I previously mentioned, push these to 2 wound Chaos Space Marines. 2 wound Chaos Space Marines. How easy would it have been to just print in this book for the following units, add 1 to your wounds? You didn't need to print every data sheet. You didn't need 20 pages of data sheets to show off. Just add 1 wound. And let's be fair, right? Chaos players have suffered for ages. Space Marines, you get chapter tactics on everything. Chaos, you don't. Don't get it on Demon Engines. Space Marines, you currently get core on everything, pretty much. I mean, apart from tanks, right? You get core on Redemptors, for Christ's sake. Eradicators, Aggressors. Core on everything. Chaos, you can guarantee you're going to get core on Cultists and Space Marines, and that's about it. Same as Necrons, right? They don't get core on everything. So I just wanted something. I just wanted something to boost Chaos at the moment. Now, I have played Brom forever. We've played Space Marines versus Chaos forever. And I've not an ego trip. Normally I beat Brom because I play a lot more games than him, especially in 8th. 9th edition, at the moment, he's going to trounce me every time with the rules as they currently are, I think. The models I have access to and the units he has access to, I think he's just going to trounce me every time. They could have at least given us a wound. I would have paid £30 just for an extra wound. And it feels to me like they've given up on Chaos a little bit. And that's sad and frustrating because I think Chaos are a really key part of the 41st millennium of the 40k lore and the narrative. And I've always thought, so I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into the Chaos rules before we then go into the chat. I've always thought that Chaos Space Marines should almost be more powerful than Space Marines. And I don't mean in terms of the Codex should always beat the other Codex. That's not what I mean by that. I don't mean that Chaos Space Marines, if you took 2,000 points versus Space Marines, you're going to win. I mean, if you want to do that, play AdMech. But which, like a month ago, we were saying Drakari, right? It's almost like they make sure that the new army coming out is super powerful. I'm not cynical. But Chaos Space Marine, a Chaos Space Marine, an individual unit model. We talked about this on the Endless Cacophony podcast on DCTV. I'm going to go into it in a little bit more depth now. An individual Chaos Space Marine is powered by the Warp and by his chosen pantheon. Okay, so as an individual superhuman who was already a superhuman, he's now powered by the Warp. He's powered by his Chaos God. He should be scary frightening compared to a normal Space Marine, even a Primaris. Here's our excuse for true scale Marines. He should be frightening. He should be scary. He should be horrific. They should be less abundant than Space Marines because they're the decaying legions and it's harder for them to replenish their numbers. So there should be less of them on the tabletop than normal Space Marines, but they should be stronger, they should be more powerful, they should be more dangerous and more deadly. And they're not. In fact, quite the opposite. When you factor in things like shock assault, combat doctrines, chapter tactics, and you compare them to the Chaos equivalent, the difference is night and day. A singular Space Marine is going to beat a singular Chaos Space Marine. I'm not even talking Primaris at the moment, I'm just talking Space Marine every day of the week right now. And I don't think that's the way round it should be. I think Chaos should be the frightening force, and I think that Space Marines should be. They should still be devastating, the Space Marines, but I think they should be slightly less frightening than Chaos Space Marines. But I also think Chaos Space Marines should be more numerous, and I also think that Chaos Space Marines should have, I'm not sure if I want Chaos Space Marines to go on the route that we're seeing in other codexes where they say, for example, you have to have as many cultists as you've got Space Marines. Like, for Word Bearers, that just doesn't make sense. Word Bearers would have floods of cultists. Same as Death Guard. I don't like the fact you can only have as many Poxwalker units as you've got Heretic Astartes. That's not how they work narratively. Narratively, there's hordes and hordes of zombies with the odd Heretic Astarte. I would have liked units of Poxwalkers to be able to take a Chaos Death Guard Plague Marine as a champion or as a sergeant choice. That's what I would have liked. Quick pause. We've got a $5 Canadian dollar super chat from the Big Red Bear. Absolute legend. I get people blasting me for saying this, but until Chaos get their Primaris equivalent, I'm through with them. Smaller models, worse gear, bad value. I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I completely agree with you right now. 100% agree with you. Thank you so much for the super chat, you absolute legend. And thank you to everybody that super chatted last week. It was an insane total. Helped me buy more gear so I can actually have a moving face. It's fancy. And if you're from Valrak and you don't know what I'm talking about, don't watch last week's video on demand from the stream. Please don't. I've left it up because they all told me to, but don't watch it. So yeah, so I'm just a little bit. I've not been disillusioned with Chaos because I love Chaos, but I've been a little bit annoyed with where they've sat in terms of power level and narrative over the course of the last few years and editions. I feel like as a Chaos player, we're always playing catch up, even though often our book comes out after the Marines. So Chaos is one of those weirds where everyone goes Codex creep. Codex creep's a thing. You're like, I'm a Chaos player. I've never suffered Codex creep at all. We go, oh, here's all these new models you're bringing out, Lord Discordance and all those extra obliterators, and then you look at the rules, you go, they're all right. They're not game or meta changing. They're okay. And I guess I just like to see an army perform narratively the way that I think they should. So powered up by the warp, super soldiers, frightening, scary, and like I say, less of them than Space Marines. I don't want to field 50 Heretic Astartes. That's not narrative. I'd like to field a sea of Poxwalkers or a sea of cultists with. Could you imagine a cultist army with the odd word bearer Space Marine directing the troops and stuff? Like, that's cool. That's narrative. Demon engines should be frightening. Why shouldn't demon engines get Legion traits? If you've got a Legion specific Mauler Fiend for the World Eaters, why doesn't he get the Legion trait? I think he should. I think all of those units should get those Legion traits. I think they should be more powerful. I think they should be more scary. I think they should be more resilient than Space Marines. I think you should be able to get less of them for your points. And I think that's how you perhaps balance it. But I think that's what they should be doing with Chaos. So let's wait and see. So wait and see what they do with the Codex. Currently, they've fucked it for me. Currently, I've just lost interest. I've not lost interest in playing Chaos. I'm going to continue playing Chaos because Steve and Box from Vanguard's asked me to go on stream soon, and I'm genuinely considering bringing the Eternal Slaughter on the stream. They're probably going to get their pants pulled down. So I'm just going to sit here for the year with my fingers and toes crossed that we get a World Eaters Codex and Angron returns. That's what I want to see. I'd like to see that. It's never going to happen, but I think I would like to see the rage on Imperial players' faces if we did get another Demon Primarch before they got a Loyalist one. Like, oh, Chaos, get all the Primarchs. Really, Loyalist players? Really? Not sure that's how it works. Anyway, that's my rant. So if you're new to the channel, if you haven't been here before, this is kind of the format. 20 minutes of me ranting about whatever I want to talk about and ignoring the chat because it's so incredibly distracting. And then we jump into talking to you guys for the rest of the night. And sometimes it lasts another hour and sometimes there's not that much to talk about. But actually, predominantly, it's been more than an hour each time. And I'm normally getting told off by her because I'm late to bed then. And she's angry because it's late and it gets to midnight and etc. Last week, it was particularly late because I finished the stream. I just sat in the corner and sobbed. That was what happened. But you guys kept me going through that. So thank you. Thank you to all the follows on Twitch. There's been a few of them, and thank you to the subs. So as I said already, our Grimnar subbed for a month. Jim Paints Mini sub with Twitch Prime as well. If you don't know what that is or what that means, and you're on Twitch, you can link your Amazon Prime account, and then you can sub to any channel of your choice for free. So go pick your favourite channel, Honest Wargamer, Hellstorm Wargaming, myself, whoever it might be, Mohawk Minis. Hit that Twitch Prime sub button, and then you can subscribe to the Twitch channel. Financially supports us because we make money off of the Prime subs, so that's huge. It's amazing. Equally, if you also want to support the stream, you can support via super chats, and your chat will definitely get read out at some point, probably, and that financially supports the stream. Or you can join the channel as a member. I think there's an exclamation mark join and stuff like that, so you can join in and whatever. Your Nightbot should be telling you. But the biggest way you can support the channel in general is by heading on over to www.deploymentzone.tv !DCTV in either chats, and subscribe via DCTV. If you do that right now, 7-day free trial, don't have to pay a penny. But if you don't like it, make sure you cancel before 7 days so we don't take any payment. If you do like it, if you love it, then don't cancel, and we will take payment, and you continue to financially support us. And I'm so close to doing this full time alongside Winters, who's also in DCTV, that I'm going to really appreciate it if you head on over there and sub right now to DCTV. We've got some fantastic content in there. We had our first ever live stream battle report on Saturday that we're now doing once a month. Soon we're going to have some Academy episodes from Stephen Box and Vanguard Tactics uploaded to DCTV, and you'll get that part of your subscription as well as a discount to the Academy. There's just tons. Play on Tabletop series resumes on Thursday. Tomb World starts again. Episode 7, Tomb World, starts again on Thursday in DCTV. So, cool. Right. Perfect. That's all the plug-in that shit, right? So that's done. If you want to join, support, all that kind of stuff, there's all the ways you can do it. You can support the stream. Fear not, if you don't do any of those things, I'm going to continue doing this on Monday nights anyway, because it's just fun talking to you guys. So that's the whole point in doing this. And now we're going to move into the Valrak phase, where we go to the chat and you guys keep me going for the next hour. That's how it works. So, diving into said chat. Chaos Marines should have access to Imperial Guard a la Gene Cult Marines beyond any level Marines. Their army abilities should make them scary. Again, agree. Like, that's kind of my point, right? They're powered by Chaos Gods. They should be frightening. Sub with Twitch Prime from Mighty Moog. Absolute legend. Thank you very much. Financially supports me and takes money away from Amazon because they have to pay it. So, legend. Thank you very much. Last week was awesome. 24-hour Warhammer will have cam problems. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, what happened last Monday is I spent the whole day prepping for Saturday's live stream and playing with OBS and setting camera settings and all that kind of stuff. Building spreadsheets to manage the scoreboards. I had the camera on with a Camlink 4K, which is a USB device that plugs into your computer that you can run your camera into with a HDMI. Had it on all day. Didn't know, A, they overheat, and B, USB ports on Windows 10 can shut themselves down. Didn't know that. I found that out about 4 minutes into the stream. It was interesting. But hey, happened. Jedi says, please don't play the Eternal Slaughter against Steve. Remember, Brom tabled you with the Ultramarines. I know. Yeah, but Brom, if you haven't seen the live stream from Saturday and you're going to watch it, spoiler alert, don't listen for the next 30 seconds, but Brom beat Steve with his Ultramarines as well. So, part of me is just being salty. The other part of me has seen Guard get weakened as a faction over time in the last few editions in favour of a new army. I don't like the trend. Happy gas mask noises intensifies. Krieg models, right? So Krieg models are a thing. Before we talk about Krieg models, which I'm very excited about but also a bit sad about, we're going to talk about a resub from Thunderwing Doomslayer 1 on Twitch with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. And a super chat from Squirrel Noob. Legend. $25 DCTV is the best value and the best bat wraps in all of Wargame. Aww. Is that because I haven't been in loads lately? Is that why? I've watched the Champion of Chaos 3 times. Wow. Champion of Chaos campaign is A, my most favourite thing I've been involved in, I think, almost ever, apart from now I'm really enjoying live streams. But B, I think it's free to watch the whole campaign on DCTV. I think we opened that up as part of the COVID thing so people could still enjoy content even if they couldn't afford it. Because we're those kinds of people. Genuine question. So, happy gas mask noises. Let's quickly talk about Krieg. I was pumped that we were going to get Krieg plastic models. I think that... Am I at risk here of being super salty? I don't know. I'm going to go for it anyway. I think that putting it in the kill team box is another money-grabbing exercise. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Who has been waiting for Plastic Krieg? Everybody. How long have they been waiting for Plastic Krieg? Fucking forever. Oh, we want to sell loads of them, but how can we maximise the revenue from it? Well, we could just sell it as a Krieg box, and we could put loads of value together in a single Krieg box and go, look, here's all this Krieg. Or we could stick it in fucking Kill Team, and we could claim that Kill Team's popular and it's selling loads of copies. But much like the last box, it's just because they had heavy intercessors in there. I love the Krieg plastic models. I'm a big fan of the Krieg plastic models, so I'm a huge fan of them. They're cool. I think that the paint job is shit. I think that the paint job for them is too Games Workshop, and it's too heavy metal, and it's too bright and vibrant, and it doesn't look like Krieg. And I think if you had a really grimy, grim, dark look, then they'd look much better. And I'm hoping when we see the Krieg models in the hands of some of the good painters in the world, we'll see that proper grimy, grim, dark look, and they'll look like proper Krieg models. At the moment, I'm a bit torn on the sculpts, and I think it's the colours that put me off. I think that's it. A genuine question. Do you think Chaos attract... Brap Scallion? I thought you were playing Call of Duty, Brap. And you've decided to come and join me instead. Thank you very much. Brap's a legend, part of the Hobbypocalypse series, which is in deploymentzone.tv, which is where you, every month, paint 250 points, I think it is, of models, and you can get your card stamped and put it on Instagram and stuff like that. Epic series. Go check it out. A genuine question, do you think Chaos attracts a certain kind of player? I know you get a rough time sometimes with the rules, but I think that Chaos players almost like to moan. I'm going to breeze over that, Brap. I'm going to breeze over it. I've listened to some of your live stream coverage. I almost feel bad building a Deathwing army when Chaos players are up. You should feel bad for building a Deathwing army anyway, but you kind of also, at that point, are a Chaos player. Looking forward to the new Tomb World. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Episode 7 is uploaded to the website, going live on Thursday, so don't miss it. I think we'll launch it at 5 PM UK time. Chaos Space Marine should definitely be stronger, but with a different weakness, i.e. Khorne easy to shoot because they are crazy and don't use cover. I'm cool with that. Really buff them up in melee, make them crazy, crazy fanatics, but give them a downside. That's kind of Chaos, right? You have a negative because you're embraced by a Chaos God and you lose your inhibitions, whatever it might be. That's cool. I mean, there should be the option for players to go either way, but in my honest opinion, they'd make a lot more sense lore-wise for all the legions if they were more elite-style version of Space Marines. I think so. I agree. We had that was that super chat from Scroll. I'm just going to mention it again because what a legend, what a lovely comment. Because of the nature of their existence, it should be difficult to muster a large Chaos Space Marine force. Of actual Astartes, yes, agree. Of followers and worshippers and cults, that shouldn't be so bad. Like, I think there should be more cults, is what I think they should have. When you read or listen to the lore, the narrative, the audiobooks, etc., you often find a Chaos uprising starts in the civilian population. So Civ Pop uprises first, lots of angry cultists are everywhere, making sacrifices and slaughtering and trying to tear those holes in reality. But you can't do that on the tabletop as much. You can to a point at the moment. I'm genuinely concerned that they're going to go on the same route that they have with Poxwalkers and limit you to, you can only take the same number of cultist units as you can Heretic Astartes units, and that's not narrative. I get that it stops 100 fucking cultists, but 100 cultists is narrative. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Liam, what would your ideal special rules for each Chaos Mark? That's interesting. I was really sad when Death Guard lost the 5-up for no pain ability, genuinely. But I'm also happy because of the speed that it sped the game up. In terms of what would be ideal marks, what would be my special rules for each Chaos Mark, I don't know. So World Eater's getting +1 attack on the charge. I was kind of okay with it. But we only got it if we charged, and I kind of get that narratively. But most things, when it's on the charge, you also get it when you are charged or you perform a heroic intervention. Of course, with Chaos, we don't get that. So I would have liked to have seen +1 attack on the charge, +1 strength, and an additional AP -1, but only on the charge, not if you get charged, maybe. But then why would they fight any less frantically if they're being charged? I don't know. That's World Eaters. Emperor's Children, I'm not sure about. Like, Emperor's Children used to have loads of stuff around initiative when that used to be a thing. Remember initiative? Remember? I remember. So I don't know how I would work that. Thousand Suns, I would like more abilities focused around... the Oldest Dust rule I like. It's okay, but I think I'd prefer abilities focused around psychic shenanigans for those. I don't know how that would work either. I haven't put much thought into this, as you can tell. Going to Armed Forces tournament in 2 weeks. Only Chaos Army present is Death Guard. So out of my 60 Army Devils, 4 Death Guard and 2 Demons list. That's sad to see. That is sad to see. 60 players, 4 Death Guard and 2 Demons. Who are the Demon lists? Are they all Nurgle as well, or are they a mix? That'd be interesting. Pestilential Jack, subscriber Twitch Prime. Legend, thank you very much for supporting the stream. I really appreciate it. I really want to see old modified armor supercharged by Chaos for future Chaos Marine models. So I'm a real big fan of the new Chaos Space Marine models that came out last edition, and I think that they're really nice sculpts, but I do think they're a little bit bland, which I get means that they fit into lots of legions, and it's really hard to justify separate kits for every single legion. I would have liked to see a little bit more chaosy. I think they got it right with Death Guard personally, not so much with the standard Marines. They're good, don't get me wrong, they're good. They're just not as good as I would have liked them to be. I'm hoping if World Eaters get a Codex, or if Emperor's Children get a Codex, they get more specialist Berserker. Although if they make Berserker kits, that's going to make the Eternal Slaughter really sad, and all my conversions are almost not, I don't know, they're not great, then are they? There should be rules for Traitor Guard and the Guard Codex. There should also be rules for Dark Mechanicum. Dark Mechanicum, Traitor Guard, Heretic Astartes. They should all be a thing. They are a thing, narratively. They should be a thing on the tabletop. I'd rather we got Traitor Guard and Dark Mechanicum than we got even more fucking Lieutenants for Space Marines. I said it out loud, right? Super chat from Speckled Jim, absolute legend. How much for you to sing the ACP outro? I don't think we can put a price on it. Depends on how much you guys super chat. I'll decide if it's worth it at the end. That's it. That's all I'm going to give you. Because if I say like 50 quid, you guys will just do it. And I don't necessarily want... My throat's fucked today. I don't necessarily want to sing the Endless Cacophony podcast outro. I might do, though, just to treat you. Mighty Moog says, business in trying to make money. Shock. I get it, right? And I have put this argument forward myself tons. I have forever said they are a business and their primary business is selling models. So they're going to do things to sell models. I agree. I think there's better ways of doing it. I think there is blatantly ripping off your community, i.e., here's your Drukhari Codex, and on the same day, here's Warzone Book 1, who's got Drukhari rules in it. Dick move. The Kill Team one with Krieg in, it's a money grab, clever move, to some extent. That's where so I'm not horribly against the Kill Team release, although I raged a lot about the last one with the Heavy Intercessors. I'm not heavily against the Krieg Kill Team release, because I feel that there's better value there. You're getting a whole rule system. You're getting 2 factions of models. It depends on the price. We don't know what the price is going to be yet. But I feel like there's a bit more in terms of value than I'm a Drukhari player. I have no interest in the Warzone Charadon campaign stuff. I have no interest in the Death Guard Terminus Assault rules. I have no interest in the extra night stuff. I just want the Drukhari rules, so I'm paying £30 for 3 pages of rules. Yeah, I mean, at least with Kill Team, if you just want the Krieg models, you can sell the Orc models. And Martin Wallace says, forget the Krieg, those Orc commandos are absolute fire. They do look cool. They do. I don't like Orcs. They do look cool. 100% money grab. Yeah, okay, cool. Same as the Heavy Instances. Liam, how do you feel about Black Templars coming when Chaos still don't have any... When Chaos still don't have anything? Are you cool with it being they hadn't got anything in a while? I mean, yes. Black Templars are one of my more favourite Space Marine chapters because they're also mental melee zealots, so I'm okay with it. And people like Valrak have told us that the Black Templars models look incredible. And they've said on Saturday that they're coming. I'm okay with Templars getting some love. I think we may... Did we know that, though? Did we kind of guess that anyway? Because the standard Space Marine Codex lost all the Black Templars rules. There was no more rules for the Crusader squads in this. So I think maybe that was a given anyway, but I am upset. So Chaos has had tons of models. Let's be honest with everybody. They've had tons of models with the new Sorcerer, the Master of Possession. They had the new Obliterators. They've had the new Greater Possess models. They had the new Astartes sculpts, the new Havocs. They've had tons of kits. Their rules are just shit. So that's the difference. Once they mentioned they're going to sell them still all separately, that meant no Kill Team purchase for me. Yeah, I mean, at least they were honest. That's the key. But then remember the Heavy Intercessors? It took them like 3 months to stick them out. Krieg looked like World War I French infantry. Blue uniforms are about right. They do need more grime, though. And when I get hold of them, they will have. Yeah, again, agree. Right. I think that's the paint job didn't do them any favours. Right, I've promised myself I'm not going to fall behind massively with the chat, so I'm going to skip down a bit, because normally what happens is I end up in a 40-minute delay, which is already happening, which is amazing because you guys are chatting loads and I love you all for it, but I need to make sure I try and keep up with the chat so I'm actually interacting, otherwise it's kind of pointless. I reckon they should do the 4 Gods Legions and then roll Traitor Guard into the generic Heretic Astartes Codex. That's interesting. I'd be okay with Traitor Guard having a separate codex and Dark Mechanicum having a separate codex and just fluffing out the Chaos codexes compared to Imperium. Because at the moment, if you're Faction Imperium versus Faction Chaos, Faction Imperium gets a ton more options instead of factions compared to Chaos, despite the fact that narratively, Traitor Guard and Dark Mechanicum exist. Cultists should always be inferior to Guard. It's the difference between partisans and a trained army. Yeah, but those partisans are also a little bit tainted by the warp and their gods. Potato, potato, maybe? I don't know. They definitely shouldn't overpower guards. Guards were 4 points a model before, with orders and extra abilities and abilities to take big heavy weapons, and then cultists were 5 points per model, and they didn't have orders. They didn't get chapter tactics. Guard were always stronger. They made new Chaos Space Marines all the time. They do genes. I couldn't speak then. Say hi, Paul. Did you see that? It's almost as say hi, Paul's here. I just realised who I'm talking to. If you haven't gone and checked Say Hi Paul's YouTube channel, go and check out Say Hi Paul's YouTube channel. Just loads of hobby vlogs and random rants and stuff. He does awesome narrative battle reports. Check him out, he's a legend. Started plying his trade in DCTV and decided to build his own channel, and everybody should go support Say Hi Paul because we love him. They make new Chaos Marines all the time. They do gene seed raids and steal it from loyalists. True that the ones that haven't been alive for the full 10,000 years, but still 8,000 years ain't too bad. I feel 8,000 years tonight, to be honest with you. Thank you. Think you'll ever have a DCTV convention or be able to plan a DCTV day far enough in advance for those of us across the pond to make plans to attend? So the next DCTV open day... Everybody's ready for an exclusive? You're ready? You're all poised for an exclusive? The next DCTV Open Day date has been provisionally booked. Now this one, which will be next year in 2022, is going to be at Element Games. And at Element Games, there is a cap on how many people the venue can hold. But Winters and I have spoken. I don't know if he wants me to talk about this, but he's on holiday in Cornwall and he hasn't got any signal, so he can't stop me. Winters and I have spoken, and for the year after, we adore Element. We love them and their venue, but we wonder if it's not big enough, because we wonder if the year after we look at the people that you get in the deployment zone, and we wonder if we bring them all together for a DCTV convention. So you don't just get DCTV, me and Winters, at the open day or the convention. You get Play On, and you get Vanguard Tactics, and you get Den of Imagination, and you get Quipster and the Conclave guys, and you get all that stuff under one roof, and you can come and chat to all of us. That'd be good, right? That'd be good. So, yeah, DCTV Open Day date provisionally booked. We'll be doing a video about it really soon, which will be going into the deployment zone. So if you want to know when the DCTV Open Day is, stay tuned for that email coming out, and then go and watch the video. And if you don't know what the DCTV Open Day is, basically we go to Element, me and Winters, we hang out with you guys. We turn up on the Friday night, we drink all of Element's beer, get horribly, horribly drunk and do silly things. And then the Saturday we just hang out with you guys, play some games, do some live Q&As, enjoy the time, and then we go home genuinely touched. You all touch us all the time. So, Liam, the Lost and the Damned from Codex Eye of Terror, or bring back Renegade and Heretics with Marines as elites. Renegades and Heretics, I think I'm going to go for. Games Workshop or FTSE 100, they can afford to be better to their players. So, going back to what we're talking about, they're a business, they want to make money. Again, I mean, that's factual. They're a business, they want to make money. But I am of the belief that when you have customers, you treat them well. You look after those customers, and repeat business is supremely important to you. This is what we're doing with DZ. So we've had some fluctuations, slight fluctuations in price over the course of the last 24 months for a number of reasons, because of VAT issues and VAT registration issues, right? So that was something we had to do. We were open about it, we told you all about it, and you guys have been amazing. But for the same monthly sub otherwise, you've come from having me and Winters only to now having a Play On series, Den of Imagination tutorials, Vanguard Tactics Academies, live streams, Conclave podcast going in there soon, Fireside Chats from Quips are going in there, Endless Cacophony podcast in there. Same sub, we've got enough content now that Winters and I are having to manage it on a calendar for release because we have too much. And on Thursday, we accidentally released 3 videos. 2 of them came out at the same time because we weren't talking to each other about when it was coming out. Too much content, if anything. Too much content. But that's because we're looking after our customers in the hope that by offering people more and more value for money, they go, this is an amazing subscription. Why would I ever cancel it? Because it's an amazing subscription. That's my ethos. Look after your customers. You keep that repeat business. People keep coming back. And they probably go out to the wider world and go, DCTV give you amazing value, and they're just adding more and more creators and adding more and more creators, and we just pay the same fee and we get more and more creators. That's what we're trying to do. Games Workshop, I think they should look after their community. I think they should look after their player base. So boxes like the Snagger box are great. They'll be good value for money. If you buy all those kits separately, you will pay more than the Snagger box. I don't like the fact that it's extremely limited. I get it being limited as well. I'm not against it being limited. That's fine. Drives demand. But it's extremely limited, which I have a problem with. Possibly a COVID reason, but considering they produce models in the UK, can that still be blamed? I don't know. I don't know the semantics behind how they produce their models, or I'm not sure where all that manufacturing process comes from. I'm not sure if they bring the plastic in from somewhere like China. I don't know. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's a book shortage because most of their books get printed in China and perhaps they can't get enough of the Beast Snagger codexes. I don't know, but I'm okay with it being a box set that's limited. That's good value. It's going to drive demand because it's limited. That's looking after your player base. If there was a few more available, that I'm okay with. These fucking monstrosities should be burned. I bet there's no shortage of these despite the fact they're getting printed in China. Interesting. I like the Kill Team releases. You get a lot more from your money than buying models separately. I get it, you do, and especially like there's people from the last Kill Team box who were Necron players and Space Marine players who loved it. And if you bought, excuse me, people, I'm sorry. It's a horrible peak as well, probably for your ears. If you bought the starter set for 9th edition and you're collecting Marines and Necrons, it's probably good value. And I'm not against the Kill Team game engine either. For me personally, I didn't want everything in that box, so I don't see the value in it. But you can resell if you wanted to go down that route, so I guess there's that as well about it. Tough, right? Really hard. At least, like I said, you can resell. You do get lots of models. I say models. You do get plenty of models, and then you get some scenery, and you get lots of value in that regard. Not like a book where you only want 4 pages of rules. So Brap, just so people know, Brap Scallion is one of our content creators in DZ. He's also one of our mods in the Discord, and he does tons of work for us, and he's amazing. But he thinks he's a funny fucker, and he says this joke all the time. And I'm going to read it out just because it'll make his night, I think. And he says, Liam, what would you rather be, or a wasp? Berserkers or bust? Yes, plastic Berserker kits would be amazing, that are decent, rather than the current derpy looking things that are scaled up and look muscly and hench, and we can all just think they're amazing, and then my poor Berserkers will look inferior. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I don't know. Paul Gray, I would be interested in if they did, if that would make Guard Infantry more durable to hold objectives. That'd be cool. Powered up by Chaos, be interesting. Are you going to get someone in to run Kill Team for DCTV? Possibly. Currently looking at talking to a creator for Age of Sigmar. Can't say any more than that right now. So that's the priority for me at the moment, because I think Age of Sigmar is bigger than Kill Team right now. Maybe we'll look at Kill Team content later down the line. I want to put everything in there. I'd love to get to a point where we can say, see Warhammer Plus? This is how you do it. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to get to. I'd worry about them being thin on data sheets though. I was confused by that. Krieg should look like World War One, Kaiserreich soldiers, and be grey. They should be grey. Why do they go blue? Does anybody know why they painted Krieg blue? I'm not sure. Caught you live, yeah. High out of Klamath Falls, Oregon. Legend. Welcome everybody all across the world. I think we've got people in Australia and people in America, people in Canada. You're all heroes. Absolute heroes. Tell us where you're from if you think about telling us where you're from. Super chat so I can see your currency. That was cheap and cheesy. Don't do that. Don't follow that advice. Don't do that. That was a silly thing to say. Mohawk here to say hi. So Mohawk Minis, absolute legend. I think I've already seen Des drop in the chat ! Mohawk. So you guys can check out Mohawk Minis on Twitch. super incredible painter. Go check out his channel. Give him a follow on Twitch, and if you can catch one of his streams to see what he does, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. He's got a Patreon as well with some incredible guides on it. I've seen a couple of them. Really, really good guides. Really, really good guides. Krieg are 90% based on World War I French more than World War I Germans. Are they? I thought Winters was a spoiler alert guy. Yeah, well, when he can't tell me off, I like to share secrets. I don't understand why Games Workshop made me a playtester. I like to share secrets. So far, kept everything. It's hard, though. It's hard. When you know what's coming, it's hard. Big up Element Games. Great to get back gaming there, but an even bigger event would be amazing. Yeah, Element are incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. And when we did the first open day, and we had plans to do the second one, but COVID stopped that, obviously, we were super looking forward to it because we filled the hall last time, and I think we would fill the hall most times. But the problem is I think we would fill the hall and have more people that want to come. And I want to be able to guarantee that people that want to come can come. And we might need bigger... If we're going to bring people like PlayOn and Vanguard Tactics with us, it needs to be a bigger venue. Plus, if Quips is going to keep coming, we need a venue big enough for his fucking ego. So there's that as well, right? Ginger Steve, legend, welcome. Has your box set... I think you told me. Did your Warcry box set... Not Warcry, what did I send you? I can't even remember what I sent you. Curse City. Did your Curse City box set turn up? So Ginger Steve won the Curse City box set on a Vanguard Tactics live stream. If you like live stream battle reports, Vanguard Tactics live stream battle reports on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock on YouTube every single week. That's 7 o'clock UK time, and I mean in the evening, not in the morning, before someone asks. So 1900 UK time. And 99 times out of 100, I'm there now running the production for them. Tomorrow I'm not, because I've got meetings at head office in London that won't finish till gone 5 o'clock, and then I won't be able to get there in time for the start of the stream. But they are streaming tomorrow, and it is Jake versus Steve. And it's exciting. I think Jake's running Iron Hands. So go check them out. Give them a sub. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock for their live stream. I feel like sometimes my live stream is just me shouting out other channels. Hey, fuck it. It's fun, it's cool, and everybody else is awesome. Plague of Shadows. Krieg are an amalgamation of the Western Front World War I soldiers, but have predominantly French gear. Interesting. Didn't know that. Genuinely thought they were based around the Germans. Krieg being more an amalgamation of the Western Front armies in World War I feel that you could go either way with the aesthetic. Definitely feel they fit the French better. You learn something every day. Have you thought of DCTV con at somewhere like the Hilton at the NEC? So that's Birmingham, right? Is that Birmingham NEC? I think it's Birmingham. A few rooms where stores like Element could set up a stall and have plenty of table space. That'd be cool, actually. If we did a con and brought Element with us, that'd be amazing. Savage Monkey, Snagger box, good luck. Snagger box, amazing. I don't think Element, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. They told me, so fuck it. Element ordered 600 copies from Games Workshop. Games Workshop have sent them 10. So they're not selling them online. You have to go into store to get them because they've got 10. So that's how limited that limited box is, right? GW don't need to play nice because where's their serious competition? Andy H. Absolutely true. But maybe that's changing with the emergence of 3D printing. Do you not feel that the emergence of how good 3D printing's getting now, there is a legitimate competitor to Games Workshop that could potentially sit in your home on your desk? That's a possible competitor for them. So perhaps that's worth thinking about. Maybe that's why they're moving towards Warhammer Plus. Maybe that's why they're moving towards digital content, I guess. I don't know. Just because perhaps they see that they might see a decline in plastic sales with 3D printing growing and growing and growing, getting more and more accurate. Not sure. Be interesting. Hopefully we'll get plastic Krieg Grenadiers, never like Scions. So, was it the start of 9th? I don't know when it happened. But they dropped loads of the Krieg kits off of Forge World, and Grenadiers was one of those. And I wonder now if they were dropped because of prepping for the plastic kits. Don't know. That'd be super interesting. Plastic Krieg Grenadiers, totally up for that. Do you know what? I am trying so hard to just not think about buying that Kill Team box just for Krieg. I adore Krieg. I've got stuff to focus on. I'm staying in focus. I'm not buying Krieg. My wallet would not appreciate me purchasing Krieg. I'm just going to behave. Stop talking about Krieg. No one mentioned Krieg. Okay? It's like the war. No one mentioned the war. No one mentioned Krieg. If Games Workshop approached you guys like they did the animators and gave you your own category on Warhammer Plus covering battle reports, would you take the offer? Depends what the offer is and how much creative control we have. And the latter part for me is probably more important than even the financial value. If they were to massively restrict or censor the type of content we were allowed to make. Not up for that. I like being honest. I like the fact that they can drop a codex like Death Guard and I can go, love this codex, it's really good. Like the fact they could drop a book like this and I can go, this is a pile of wank and no one should buy it. I like that freedom, and I don't think they're going to like me going into Warhammer Plus and going, this is a pile of wank, don't buy it. So I don't think they'd let us do that. But I also want to maintain my integrity. I don't want to ever be telling people this is really good just because Games Workshop have sent me the book. I'm told, by the way, that I have to let everybody know they sent me this for free to review. I think you probably know that anyway, right? But I have to say that now because of advertising laws. Is anyone else still here from the raid earlier? The numbers tell me they are, because it's not normally this high, so I hope so. Brap's super excited that I read his joke out, even though it's one of the shittest jokes I've ever heard in my life. Kill Team is actually my favourite Games Workshop game. New box looks awesome. Didn't bother with Nexus, was worthless to me. Why was it worthless to you? Simply because of the model range? Interesting. I'm just keen to know whether that was why, and whether that has got actually a huge impact on whether you buy the box or not. Custom Berserkers are always cool. They'll get a pass. Thank you. That means that they're not going to be written off as soon as the new one comes out. Berserkers released when I was a teen in 40k. That means pre-unification wasn't the current timeline. Aussie Jackknife. He's putting himself down. That's a shame. I'm sure you're young and beautiful at heart. I like that you can play a little of everything from Inquisitor Vex. So when is Winters going to play me to practice? I saw you, to practice his competitive play. I saw you on Insta challenge him today. I'm going to give him a nudge. So he's in Cornwall and he's got no signal. So he can't, and even if he did have access to Wi-Fi, probably wouldn't know how to connect to it. So when he's available, I'll give him a nudge and see if we can get you with your Knights against Winters for tournament practice. I think that'd be a really interesting game to watch. You and Winters are heroes. Aw, thanks, Savage Monkey, you absolute hero. Keith is supposedly based on World... What? WA1. What's WA1? I guess that's supposed to be World War 1. And it's supposed to be Krieg, not Keith. I think autocorrect's Ninja do there. Squirrely, maybe the Krieg Vets paint scheme is based on French army at the beginning of World War 1 who entered the war in Napoleonic colours or blue or red. Yeah, so I get the World War 1 French reference. I get that that's possibly what they're doing, but I just don't... It doesn't feel right to me. I don't feel like it's the right... I think the grey, the traditional Krieg colours is where they should have gone with it. Sergeant Saint. This is always the worst part of live streaming. I should do Valrak right. He got a super chat earlier from a guy in I think Russia or something. I think it was like Rubles or something like that, and he didn't even bother trying to pronounce his name. So egotistical. He says if they aren't going to release new Chaos Space Marines for each chapter, how about some of the transfer packs for each chapter like they do with Space Marines? Transfer packs would be nice, right? At least transfer packs. Quipster had to go win that Insta thing as well. He hasn't won it, Reza. He's only won the first round, right? There's multiple rounds. And I'll have you know that he attempted to vote for himself with multiple accounts. And when we finally called him on it, he used some of those accounts to vote for his opponent instead to balance it out. But he wouldn't have done that if I wasn't checking who was voting for who. And if you don't know what we're talking about, deploymentzone.tv on Instagram, they're doing a regulars battle royale. I think Stylus and Sultan are running it. Where they're putting the regulars up against each other. And you can go in and vote on a poll to see who beats who. I think I beat Mikey P in the first round. Say Hi Paul beat Stylus. Quipster beat Sultan. And there's some other results. I can't remember all the results off the top of my head. Dark Angels Chris beat Brom. Which I'm shocked about because Dark Angels Chris is horrible. And Brom's lovely. But you can head on over to the Instagram page and they're running the quarterfinals tomorrow. Or so, I don't know which one it is. But yeah, fun. It's a bit of fun, right? A bit of fun and a bit of engagement. Ask Quipster to show you his firstborn. I'd rather not. I don't want him to show me anything. We did the live stream and it took seconds for him to just put himself in front of the camera. Horrible. Horrible human. Everyone should unfollow Quipster. The helmets and Stahlhelm sides with the French crest. Cool. The French army in World War One looked more like the Steel Legion by the end of the war. It fascinates me how many historical references exist within 40k and multiple different things. The Egyptian sort of references for Thousand Suns, all that kind of absolutely fascinates me. That kind of stuff, love it. Especially Space Marine Legions and what some of them are based on. I try my best. I did notice Reza as well. Reza Prime is one of the Conclave podcast. Conclave podcast is another channel you can check out. They do podcasts on Spotify and iTunes, and they also have a YouTube channel that they sometimes update. And Reza, who's part of the Conclave with Quipster, used the Conclave account to vote for Quipster's opponent. Legend. Yeah, Curse City arrived. Absolute legend for sending it. That's all right, mate. I'm sorry it took so long to get out to you. DCTV Open Day bought you from the Birmingham NEC halls. Bring everyone in, and Element Games can come down and sell there as well. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be amazing. We could get some streaming on the go so people can see it live. All that kind of stuff would be cool. Everyone's saying buy it and send the orcs to Winters. When are you painting up and playing your Krieg? Mighty Mook clearly doesn't know me. If he's asking me when I'm painting my Krieg, clearly doesn't know me. The Krieg guy with the trench. Oh, by the way, right, I'm going to start catching up on the chat. Don't forget, I've got this. If you want to ask some questions, what time are we on? We're at 25 past 10. Give it another 10 minutes or so. You want to ask some questions on Warzone Charadon, you can ask them. But you're going to suffer me looking down at the book for ages before I can get to the answer that you want. And if I can't, if that's then really shitty content, I'll just stop doing it. But we'll try. I heard a rumour they removed datasheets for units that had broken Forge World molds. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. I think they've done that in the past. They then rebuilt the mold and then re-released them later on. Maybe they're not going to do that this time because there's a desire to put them out in plastic. Maybe that's going to push that plastic process through. I don't know. The Orc Commando sculpts, the best sculpts I've seen from Games Workshop. I'm not an Orc fan, and I think they look pretty cool. So, yeah, John Battle, plenty of... John, I haven't spoken to you for ages. John's a legend. There are plenty of shovel options, which is exactly how the Krieg should be. I'm ignoring Andy H telling me to get Krieg. I play kill teams that weren't in the rules. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. More Krieg. Krieg with a Mohawk K, Dats and Des. Cut me deep right there. The red and blue didn't work well for French either. Awkward. So Krieg is supposed to run away and surrender. Do they? It didn't look like they were doing that. That video, though, I'll give them one thing, right? That video was fucking cool. Wasn't it? The Krieg Orc video was cool. If they release all their product lines with that kind of video, that kind of graphical animation, I would watch a series with that. But I want them to be more than like 3 minutes if I'm paying for Warhammer Plus. Although I've said it before, I think Warhammer Plus is good value for money. Came here from Valwak, save for the quality. Thanks, Sean. What a legend. New subscriber? Maybe. Just if you want to. Obviously here for all the new question content, but on the real, we have some awesome Hobby Apocalypse news coming up soonish. I'll let you know after stream, Liam, but it's well good. Brap just plugging his own show. It's a good show. You should. The thing is, right, the thing I love about the Hobby Apocalypse is you can jump in the DC Discord and you can keep up with it. So every month they do the 250 points. You can pay it along and get to the end of the month, get your little stamp, and they do a little video showing you what the progress they've made and everyone shares. And I love that. I just love that community involvement. On top of which, we've got the Gehenna campaign in DCTV at the moment. Gehenna campaign, we're just giving you a narrative. You guys go and play the battles and you submit your results via Google Sheets. We've had hundreds of submissions so far. I think Sultan and Winters have already done the first roundup video as well. So check out Gehenna. Get yourselves involved anywhere in the world, play a battle, submit it on Google Sheets, affect the narrative. That's cool. This is what DCTV is all about. A random tangent. We love random tangents. I just finished Penitent tonight. No spoilers, but oh my god, the ending could be huge for the 40k narrative. I haven't read or heard or listened to that one. Interesting. Reza Prime, no way. Luckily I get to Conclave account first. Yeah, see, Rich, that's what I'm saying. He used, right, this is what Alex did. This is what Quipster did for voting. He used his hobby account. He then thought he was using his personal account and voted for himself with the DCTV account, which is how we caught him. He then used his personal account. He then logged in with his mum's business account and his other mum's business account. Not his other mum, his mum's other business account. Get my English right there. He hasn't got two mums, although that's clearly fine. But he was going to use both of those accounts. And when we were, hang on a minute, you've used your personal account and your hobby account and the DZ account to vote for yourself. He then backtracked and used the business accounts, plural, to vote for Sultan to balance the scores out. Brapsellin says, love making content for DZ. We love you for it. The content's awesome. Chris Fazer, true. Brom is lovely. Sorry, Chris. I love you, by the way. Having you down with your Dark Angels is some of the most fun I've played with the Battle Report. Should do it again sometime. Am I going to be painting Krieg for you instead of Wolves? Saying nothing. Yes, the purge continues. Should I like getting purged? Should I? Kevlar69 with the £5 super chat saying, how's it going? That's the most impressive super chat I've ever seen. I don't know how you did that, but that's the most impressive super chat I've ever seen. Thank you so much for the support, you absolute hero. Like I said, super close to maybe being able to do this full time, trying to boost some of that income up just so that I can be a little bit less nervous about it. Let's get a game between me and Winters from Mohawk. Yeah, absolutely we should. Vote on a poll. Can you beat them with the poll afterwards? The poll seems to think, so in terms of Warzone Charadon, I had a look at the poll earlier before we started, and I was going to talk about it, but the poll basically agrees. We offered every week, we put a poll up before the stream, and the poll topic will normally be relevant to the stream. We put a question out saying thoughts on the Warzone books, right? So love them, great books was the first option. Like all the campaign stuff, so I'm happy to buy was the second option. Why put rules in there for armies with 9th codexes was the third. Zero interest was always the fourth, and the same fifth option as always was, who's Valrak? It's the new channel phrase, I think. Who's Valrak? Did you see the picture he sent to me after last week's stream? I was devastated. I had a horrific experience. The picture froze. I was fought like fuck with my computer all night to try and get it working, whilst also trying to keep talking to you guys. And he just sent me the most horrendous picture about taking the. He just like with me on in the background, wanker. So in that poll there wasn't much voting for the first two options, like they love the books or they like the campaign stuff. A huge 57% voted for why put codexes for 9th edition armies, why put rules in there for 9th edition codexes. About 10 to 15% had zero interest, and 20% said, who's Valrak? So I think it was quite overwhelming. People hate the fact that there's codex rules for codex that have already come out in the Warzone Charadon book. Games Workshop, listen to me. Stop doing it. It's a dick move. Okay, cool. What are you looking for most out of the Templar supplement? Tell us you can't say if it's in fact Divine Push isn't a stratagem and it's an army-wide ability. I can't talk about codexes that are... Games Workshop have announced on Saturday that Templars are coming. That's been shown off, I think. That's what I'm told on Facebook anyway. I haven't seen it myself. So that normally means that there's a codex in the works or has been finished. As a playtester, I can say nothing about any of that stuff, so don't ask me. I prefer the Steel Legion to Deathcore Krieg. I kind of really dig the Steel Legion, but I think I've just got a real soft spot for Deathcore Krieg. Will DCTV ever make their own tabletop game? I don't know. Can we compete with 40k? Probably not. So is it worth it? Again, probably not. We update the YouTube channel when I have a chance. Feel like it. I get that. But you're always on Spotify, you're always on iTunes, right? So you're where it counts. Crispy super chatted. Congrats for an hour of audio and video. What more do you want from a live stream? Video and audio is pretty standard, right? Honestly, cannot wait for those commandos. Got to finish Death Watch for No Retreat 10, but those orcs will be a great palette cleanser. Bomb Squig and Ninja whatever you do, Martin Waller, and you guys should all check out Martin Waller Figure Painter on Instagram. I need to put a little link in the bot. Go check him out. Whatever you do, Martin, when you start painting those things, don't send me fucking pictures. I just want to stick forks in my eyes when you send me pictures of what you're painting. Plastic Steel Legion is the only way I would ever buy new Guardsman models. I have hundreds. Again, I want plastic Valhallans. I want plastic everything guard, though. That's the problem. And then I would never paint them, so it's probably pointless. How well laid out are the Chaos rules? I don't already own them. Oh, the current Chaos rules. I'll show you. I'll show you live. So what they've done is they've put Bellacor's Army of Renown in here, which is not great. They're then giving you the Chaos Space Marines appendix, right? This is why I need a top-down cam, which looks like this. Hang on. There you go. Champions of Ruins of abilities. The abilities are hateful. It's Shock Assault and Bolt, a discipline. It's just what we've got for Space Marines anyway. No extra wounds. And then you have demonic weapons, and then it goes into individual factions or individual chapters or individual legions, whichever you want to call them, i.e. word bearers. So you have a word bearers page of warlord traits. You then have a word bearers page of stratagems. Then you have a word bearers page of artifacts. This is going to really piss Games Workshop off if I'm doing this as well. But I guess this is okay though, right? Because they're not fucking new rules. These are the same rules they've released before. So I'm not showing you anything that they haven't had in a book before. And then it goes on to Night Lords, stratagems, etc. And it does that for every legion that hasn't got a separate codex, i.e. Thousand Sons of Death Guard. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Is there any new fluff in the book? Yes, there's new fluff in the book. So if I go to the campaign rules, Chris Frazier. If I go to the campaign rules, which start about here-ish. Oh, hang on. No, not quite there. So this much of the book. Ready? That. It's quite thick, right? That's all narrative. That's all narrative for the campaign, which is really good. Like I said, the campaign stuff is cool. Can't fault the campaign stuff. The campaign stuff's really cool. Matthew Ellinger with a super chat for $5. Absolute hero, thank you. Do you still have your Sim Han forces? I haven't seen a game with them in ages, and I'm building my own Sim Han army and could use the inspiration. Yes, I have my Sim Han still, and I'm strongly considering bringing them to Vanguard for the live stream that I said I'll do with him. But all my armies are super fucking weak right now. Just playing 40k with what I've got isn't fun, but I still love Sim Han. More Krieg from the Big Red Boar. No more Krieg. Plague of Shadows. I'm still very bitter over Forge World finally releasing the Gorgon Heavy Transport and then them becoming legends 2 months later. Yeah. They shouldn't do that. But I guess they can't make everything forever. Okay? I guess they can't make everything forever. However, Dats and Des, don't put a poll in Twitch for whether I should or shouldn't collect Krieg or finish my Space Wolves. You horrible man. We love Dats and Des. He's one of the mods in Twitch, and he was the one who created the very quick command ! Camera, I think it was last week, which made me sad. The best part of the Warhammer TV stuff they showed off, so that I guess you're talking about the clip for the kill team. It was by the Astartes guy called the Savage Monkey 2099. That's amazing. If that's what they're going to get out of him, then fuck me, they made the right choice bringing him in and paying him a wage, right? That's amazing. Brap confirms Henry Cavill participates in Hockey Poppy Apocalypse 2. That would be clutch, right? If we got that, that'd be amazing. I'm so hoping the other regiments get a squad and kill team, if not a full range of data sheets. I don't think we'll see that. I'd love for it to happen, but I don't think we'll see that. Content-wise, we have DCTV legend Warsmith Chris coming on for a chat shortly. You shouldn't announce that. You want people to come and listen. I submitted my game with Abaddon shredding Krieg tanks on Sentinel. Yes, you did. That's all part of the Gehenna campaign, which is amazing. Mohawk loved Valrak's pick. No one likes Valrak's pick. Fucking arsehole. Is the poll thing a flat popularity contest? Is it supposed to be a who would win the chained knife fight? So I think it was supposed to be who would win, and I think that it's become a popularity contest. And I think that some people have been crushed by it. Poor old Sultan was very upset. I wanted to drive up to Swindon and hug him. Inquisitive Vex says, "Oi, Games Workshop, no." Which is kind of what we're doing. This is what the stream's all about, basically. That should probably have been the title of the stream, actually. I want Valhallans so I can use them with my wolves as Space Wolf thralls. I want Valhallans because Valhallans are cool, and I love Commissar Kane. Devout push army-wide confirmed by Liam. I'll hold you accountable when they're just got rid of them. I don't know, but I want animated in claymation. What's claymation? Elysian drop troop kill team. +1 for Martin Waller being insane. He is insane. Old rules, 30 quid well spent. I don't know what that's related to, so I'm just going to ignore it. I feel like doing Traitor Guard and Dark Mechanicum as separate codexes. They'd be thin on data sheets. What units would they have? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's interesting, right? I guess that's interesting. Maybe that is why they'd be better put together as a single book. Perhaps there is. I'm horrendous for, and I get that this isn't a popular choice. I've always been horrendous for, if you're going to lay the Loyalist out this way, where you've got a central core codex and then you have a bunch of supplements that is, do not Legion specific, chapter specific stuff, Ultramarine supplement, Iron Hand supplement, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, etc. Then I think that Chaos should mirror it. Now, I always had the argument with Thousand Sons and Death Guard that they're so incredibly different from the main Chaos Space Marine Heretic Astartes force. That's why they've got their separate codexes. But I would suggest that to some extent, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels are arguably in the same boat with the number of singular units that they have that sit outside of the normal Codex Astartes, right? And historically, Blood Angels, I think the last edition, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels all had their own codex. So I thought, okay, it kind of makes sense. They're kind of doing the same thing. So I would have liked to have seen Wild Eaters, Emperor's Children, Thousand Sons Death Guard with the same codexes, and I'd like to see Word Bearers, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, all with supplements, much like the Iron Hats. So for me, I was like, just match it Loyalist to Heretic. And then they basically shit-canned the original plan to have certain loyalist codexes as standalone codexes, and they've gone everything in Space Marine books. So, I mean, fucking hell. Dark Angels players used to only have to buy a single book. Well, until all the supplements come out and all the campaign rules come out. Because, 8th edition was that edition where we had a lot less rules bloat than 7th. At the start, we did. So Dark Angels players used to have to buy a single book. Now they have to buy the Astartes Codex and they have to buy their supplement. And I'm not against that. I'm okay with that, right? Wolves were the same, Blood Angels were the same, and now they've come back to having to buy 2 books. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them all having the same core because they're all Adeptus Astartes, and then the chapters have got their separate abilities, units, etc. So I'm not 100% against that. I think it's a bit dickish. You have to pay for 2 books to play your faction, but I'm okay with that as long as that's as far as it goes. Then you start adding supplements in later, then you're going to piss me off. But do they care if they? Probably not. They don't probably care if they piss me off. But then that'll piss me off, right? So I sort of wanted them to do the same with Chaos, but they didn't because Death Guard's out already. So Death Guard came out before Heretic Astartes. So they. Am I right? Should they do the same for Chaos Space Marines as they do for Imperium, or should they do it differently? Now, if they do it differently, as they are doing, there's, I think, more argument for Traitor Guard and Dark Mechanicus to be in a single book, I believe. Buck Up Live, thanks for the follow, my legend. So if they did that, I think that there's more argument to have them combined. But if they kept everything matching Loyalist, which I think to some extent, am I right? I don't know if I'm having that internal struggle going, do I want to be the same as Loyalist but with spiky bits, which isn't entirely true. That's not exactly what I want because I want it to have that narrative feel. But I also want to have the same variety in my army that a Loyalist has. So for playing the bad guy, I don't want to be punished and only have 4 units, is my personal preference. Don't know. Ginger Steve hosting me on Twitch as well. What a legend! Thank you very much. I think exclamation mark camera from Inquisitive X. I don't think it's working anymore, thankfully. So, Des says the poll's pretty decisive, but I'm not reading it. A weak codex is still fun to play with. Either learn how to win with it, or make sure your opponent has toned their list down to create a good gaming experience for both players. We spoke about this briefly with Vanguard Tactics on Saturday about the differences between a good and bad player and a good and bad codex, and whether there is in fact many differences. I.e., if you've got the worst codex in the game and the best player in the game, and then you've got the best player in the game with the worst codex in the game, is that something that is that thing? Like, does that make a massive difference? And I said on the stream, I think the player makes more difference to the codex than the codex. I think the player is more divisive to whether they win or lose than the actual army that they're playing with. But having said that, I think that there are some codexes that have such a monumental gap between them that I think that the players have impact still, but not as much as they perhaps would. So I think the get good I hate, and I'm not about that life. I think I agree with what you're saying to a point, Jay. Like, I don't think there is a my codex is crap, so I just can't win. I don't agree with that at all. But I think there is a degree of some people are in a harder place because of the book they have. So, super chat from, I can't say a name, but I'm going to keep trying. $4.99 Leah Mental Health Fund. It needs to be bigger than that. For a mental health fund, it needs to be bigger than that, trust me. Plague of Shadows says, as a Krieg and Wolves player, do both. I can't do both. My soul is already dying. So Morph is claymation. Right, okay, so I know what claymation is now. Cool. How did I not know what that is? That makes more sense. Should Warzone be official rules going forward, or as a TO, do we just do Codex and FAQ? The Warzone stuff, in terms of... So I would like this, right? And this is probably controversial. I'd love TOs out there that aren't Games Workshop to unite and say, the additional rules that you get in Warzone Charadon that aren't in your codexes, we're not fucking using them. So a lot of people out there, especially competitive players, are going to go, well, in that case, I'm not buying it because no one's using those rules. Maybe that might send a message to... Probably won't, but maybe that might send a message to Games Workshop that they stop doing it. And I want to say as well, I want to go on record as saying, I love Games Workshop. I have a business around their products. I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch stream around their product. I spend lots of money to try and produce high quality streams, live stream battle reports, videos, all that kind of stuff around their product. You know, I'm hoping to get to a point where I can do 40k full time, which is their product. I adore Games Workshop. I'm a playtester for them. I give them feedback on rules. I review stuff that they send me. Mental Health Fund Part 2. You legend. Love you. Thank you. So I adore Games Workshop on the whole. 90% love. They just do some things that really piss me off. And this is one of them. Like I said, I've said this already, right? In this book, just have the campaign stuff. And I think I would be sat here going, what a cool book. What a cool campaign book. Love it. Loads of good stuff. Or campaign book in here, but go, you know what, Chaos Space Marines aren't going to get rules for 6 months or however long it might be, don't know. And so we're going to put some rules in there for them, but we're not just going to reprint the stuff they've already got. We're going to go, have 2 wounds, here's some slight tweaks to your weapons, have D6 plus 2 on your metal guns, etc. There you go, chaps. You've got something whilst we tide you over, whilst we continue to release Orc Codexes and Sisters of Battle Codexes and fucking Templars apparently and all that kind of stuff. Do that, or Castellan Crow. That Castellan Crow model, by the way. When you see them, if you go to the community page and you see him stood there with his purifiers, I think they are, he just looks fucking stupid. No, maybe he doesn't look stupid. Maybe they look stupid. But one way or another, it looks like he makes the other Grey Knights look like they're now the new squats. Confirmed, Grey Knights are now squats. Mighty Moog says, but really, who is Valrak and White? No one fucking... He's just some idiot. But apparently he's really popular. And he's actually a really nice guy. But I'm just going to keep... I basically... Mikey said this the other day, and I didn't think about it until he said it. And now I'm like, yeah, maybe I should actually do that on purpose. Just going to use his name for the algorithm. Just hope that loads of people find the channel because I'm saying Valrak a lot. It's easy to flash out chaos, loads of stuff they could have with a bit of effort. Yeah, just add in Dark Angels, Chris, right? I mean, they technically got everything the Imperium has, but with extra chaos, extra spiky. That's the fact. I just like missing plot because I'm not buying a book for an army I don't own. I think the narrative is specific to that particular sector. So if you don't read any of the Warzone Charadon books, you'll just miss out on the narrative to that sector, I think. Mohawk, you don't have to buy 2. So this is true. He's 100% right here, right? You don't have to buy 2 books to apply Dark Angels. There's a Warlord trait in the book and a set of chapter tactic rules. However, you can pay an additional amount to add additional rules to your army. As someone that's happy to pay for additional content, I will, but you don't have to. It's just better for you if you do. And I think that last part's the clutch, right? So Jay's right. There isn't a chapter out there at the moment in the Loyalist books you can't play just by using that book. You can play every chapter with some degree of narrative. But for specifically things like Dark Angels, for things like Blood Angels, who have got lots of bespoke, unique units to their codex, you are missing out on a huge chunk of that army's narrative and abilities if you don't purchase that extra book. And another super chat. You guys are killing it. I think tonight YouTube is killing Twitch for supporting the stream. I'm just saying. And at the end of the month, whoever's done the most, we're going to do a giveaway in that particular chat. Just throwing it out there. Ginger Steve said, haircut fund. Here you have a top knot off stream now. I think you should just use a still image of your face as a mask rather than a top knot. Off stream. Fight me. Fight me, Steve. I'm still powerful. Space Wolves have top knots and they're powerful. So, there you go. I really hope they come out with Inquisition Retinue Kill Team rules in this edition from Casey. Yeah, Inquisition as well, right? Huge part of the narrative, the Inquisition, and they don't really have any really unique rules or some amazing models. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more there personally. Nova 98 Cobra, I feel like we will eventually have a book and a full range for every faction, but it'll be slow. I mean, they have to continue to make money into the future. Games Workshop can't blow their load all at once and run out of shit to sell them 50. Yeah, and I get... So I guess some of that means that, like... I guess I'd like to at least have a release schedule maybe, but I guess that also means that people might go, well, I know that Codex World Eaters is coming, or I know that Codex Inquisition is coming, or whatever it might be, or Codex Dark Mechanicus is coming, or whatever. So I'm not going to go and buy Codex Krieg because I know it's coming. So by having that mystery, people may be more inclined to go, oh, new shiny, I'm going to buy that. Oh, new perhaps, I don't know. But so I get that the release might be slow, but I'd like to know what's coming. And I say this as a man who knows what's coming, but for you guys, it must suck. Like not knowing how to, or what to focus on, or what to wait for. I think it's all about looking after customers. It's all about looking after that fan base, and they're better at it. They're better at it than they have been before. They've got the community team. They're engaged with their community. They do live streams. It's better. It is better, and I can't help but praise them for it being better. But I think it could be a little bit better again. Another super chat from Tom from Helveticus. Here's £5. Go Claire's Accessories and get yourself some hair clips. I might go to Claire's Accessories. Tom is an absolute legend, and Tom has a brand new website, helveticusgaming.com. I think it's .com. I'm sure it's .com. You should check it out. So he doesn't yet stock 40k products, Games Workshop products, because Games Workshop charge you a fortune to stock 40k products. But he does stock loads of other stuff, battle mats, scenery, things like, I think there's infinity models and what have you. So go over there, check him out. He's trying to launch this business. He's trying to get it off the ground. If you guys can go and support him and buy a few bits and pieces from Helveticus Gaming, I'd love you forever. Tell him Liam sent you, if you can add a comment, or I don't know if you can, but tell him Liam sent you, because I just, anyone who's trying to make a living off of this hobby and trying to launch a new business or a new career, I'm there. I'm supporting them. I love them. So want to get there. Want to get there for everybody. 50 years from now, we'll be playing with holograms. So do you know what? For the first time this weekend, I saw some Tabletop Simulator content. I was watching Mikey from Hellstorm get beat by Tau, I think it was, on Tabletop Simulator. And actually, that looks really interesting. Looks really good. But do you know what? I don't think there's anything quite like standing across the table from someone. So although the Tabletop Simulator looked really, really good, I could have a painted army on Tabletop Simulator. It looked really, really cool. I don't think I would be able to use that as a replacement for that across the table. So maybe holograms is the thing in the future, right? But I still want that one-on-one interaction, something that has really sucked throughout COVID. So super happy when the Prime Minister of the UK said that the restrictions will be lifted in a week's time. Come on. This doesn't go well. I spend ages in the morning getting it all nice and ready. ! Beard in the chat if you want to go to the Beard Struggle and use a code for loads of discount if you also have glorious facial hair. Then I put a mask on. It sticks out like that. Horrible thing. So after saying 50 years ago from now we'll be playing with holograms, he then said, well, some of us will. I'll be dead. Brilliant. No, maybe not, Moog. Maybe they'll have worked something out by that point where they can put your head in a glass jar and attach it to you'll be like the fish off of Megamind. Eldar are in need of an update or just interact with the game in 9th. You say that. This comes back to the player versus Codex argument, right? So on the stream on Saturday, Brom took Ultramarines, 9th edition Codex, and Steve took Eldar. And the score was close. 4 victory points in it at the end, and that's not because Brom's a shit player, because he scored a ton of points. Check it out, go and have a look. Steve did really well. An example of a very good player with what I think is currently a lackluster Codex performing really well. Just saying. Good luck taking Gene to the Cult to a tournament and winning with it. Yeah, I don't think you can right now. The 9th rules make them almost unplayable. How are Necrons for Legends coming along? They're okay. Struggling with motivation to paint anything at the moment, which is not a surprise to anyone who knows me and watches the channel, but, hopefully I'll get back to them at some point soon. Currently flat out with work and stuff, so it's just a bit hard to get the time. I got a week off in August. I'm hoping to do some hobby in that week off to try and push them along a bit, which is cool. Nathan says hello there. Hey, dude. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you hit sub so you don't miss these in the future. Mighty Moog, I'll be playing Drakari and EC extra interesting to be sure. Chris Fraser says it's madness to make a new edition and have 50% of the factions use old rules. We spoke about this, I think it was on the ECP actually, right? And the thing is the 8th ed Codex rules are relevant to 9th, so they kind of do have a Codex. What else could they do? They could have muted everyone and gone back to indexes, but I think if they'd done that so soon after they did it with 8th, it would have probably caused more hate. So I think they probably made the right choice. And they can't rush the Codexes out because they'll just hammer people that have got multiple armies, and that's negative. So to some extent, they're in a lose-lose situation. So if you take out the rules that they've got in this that are for Codexes that have already been released, I think their release rate and what they're doing is okay, and I think that's all right. The only thing that's pissed me off about this is putting rules in the Codex for an army that's already got a Codex. That's a shit thing to do, in my opinion, right? All my teams are technically Inquisition. But a team of Acolytes and Retinue would be awesome from Inquisitive X. I mean, you're Inquisitive X. Should hope your army is Inquisition. Just saying. Primaris Crow. Is he Primaris, though? He's not Primaris, is he? I don't think he's Primaris. Crow is not Primaris. So this is the thing. So he's not Primaris, but they've made him bigger. This is a really fucking odd choice. And they haven't... The pictures of him are with the old Purifiers. So if they'd done it with all the Grey Knights, okay, makes sense. If they scaled them all up, they haven't, though. All the old Grey Knights are the same size. And people said, oh, it's because he's on a rock. Take him off that rock and measure a Grey Knight against him. He's fucking bigger. Look at his shins. Look at his waist. He's a bigger model. Much bigger model. I'm not a fan of... the scale of him. That's a lie. I'm a fan of the scale of him. I'm not a fan of the scale of him compared to other Grey Knights. They should have been bigger or keep him the same size. I'm not sure. RAF, take that back. Crow's amazing. Pay no attention to the sad strike squads. Crow is amazing. The model is cool. He just looks shit next to the rest of the Grey Knight army. And if they're not going to improve or re-release or increase the size of the rest of the model range, they may have dropped the ball by just making him big, in my opinion. Heretic Wargaming. This is right. I don't want to ask people who are moderators to ban people. I don't. But he has said, you might call Dark Angels chaos, but at least we have doctrines and 2 wounds. It's a low blow there, Heretic Wargaming. A low blow. I will notice that you've said, at least we have doctrines and 2 wounds, and you're called Heretic Wargaming. Confirmed. Dark Angels Chaos confirmed. So we'll be getting a whole new Grey Knight model update. Well, the image on the community page doesn't show that. The Purifiers are the old Purifiers. So, yeah. Mighty Moog is watching me both on YouTube and Twitch, hedging his bets for the giveaway. Legend. That's the smart move. That is the smart move. Don't know if it helps me at all, but thank you. Fabius Bile says, I look like Mr. Magica. Who's that? Casey Hamilton says Inquisitive X, I know right, should have been one of those first teams releases in the first edition. Inquisitive X, I won't play my Blood Angels because I'm not buying the book just so to use my Sanguine Guard and Death Company. Okay. I'll run them as company vets or something. See, this is the thing. It does piss people off. It does piss people off that they have to buy a whole other book to be able to run them when they used to be able to do it with a single book. And we were told for ages, Games Workshop said to us for ages that they wouldn't be introducing book bloat, and we've got book bloat. And it's arguably as bad as it was before, if not worse. For me as a Chaos player, I've got the fucking Vigilus books, and I've got Warzone, I've got Psychic Awakening, now I've got Warzone Charadon, and I've also got the code, and they're all shit rules. Brilliant. So at least if you buy a Blood Angels supplement, right, you've got good rules in it. Think of the poor old Chaos players out there, Inquisitive X, eh? Do you think Charadon is worth £30 without the Chaos rules? If so, aren't they just free? I think that if you are into campaigns and you like campaigns and you pulled all of the additional army rules out of here and you just stuck a couple of extra pages of campaign rules in, this would be 100% worth the money if you love campaigns, especially considering you can buy it from places like Element for cheaper. ! Element, just saying. In that regard, I think that it's it's worth it. So, to some extent, if you're okay with the extra faction rules, which clearly I'm not, then yes, the book's possibly worth the money because the campaign stuff is really good. It is really good, but if you're buying it because you want the extra Skitarii rules, because you want one of your units of Vanguard veterans to have a 5-up invulnerable save. Or make one of your units of Vanguard veterans to have a 5-up invulnerable save and some other abilities. You're paying £30 for 4 pages. And to be honest with you can take the chaos rules out of it because it's just a reprint of rules that already exist. So, more Rogue Trader comment. I've never played Rogue Trader. Jedi, how about a doubles live stream? Liam and Steve versus Mikey and Valrak would be amazing for the algorithm. It would be, but I think Valrak, as soon as I had Steve involved, he wouldn't want to play because he's currently undefeated. I think he wants to keep that title, which is why I think he'll probably pull out of No Retreat Legends sick because then he keeps his title. Liam is living narrative 40k as his real life, like Rodney of Only Fools and Horses with a Ponytail. If I'd ever been nice to you, Ginger Steve. I hurt my feelings right now. Any chance we will see a guard codex by the end of this year? No idea. And if I did, I couldn't tell you anyway. I'm personally sticking to Heresy until the 9th books are out. Heresy. There's a lot of interesting content about whether Heresy would move to 9th edition rule set as well, which is quite interesting. Because, I mean, we're looking at a new Heresy release, right? That would be interesting. I actually like the idea of it staying as a 7th edition rule set, so it's a whole different game system. A lot of people are different to me. A lot of people think that we should have the same game system across Heresy and 40k. But for me, they're two different games, and I think that having two different rule sets appeals to me. And if Heresy became much more accessible because it was plastic instead of resin, but still played the 7th edition core rule set, I'd be really interested in playing that alongside normal 40k because it's a different gaming system. If Heresy moved to 9th edition, for me, there's not enough reason for me to then go and play Heresy because it's the same and I could just play 40k instead. That's my own personal opinion. Is the Codex staggering because of competitive play? Games Workshop want people to meta chase and buy new cheese before power stomping. Do you know what? I think there's a degree of it. I don't think it's a main driver. I think there is. I think they've got one eye on that. I personally believe they've got one eye on the we are still selling models. We still want people to purchase things and then we'll nerf them and then they have to purchase other things and then we'll nerf them and then they purchase other things and then Codex creep happens and they have to purchase other things. So I think there's a degree of it. I don't know if it's the main driver. You have to also realise that getting the whole of 20 plus factions codexes out is a difficult task anyway. How fast do you pace it? Do you launch everything at once and then you potentially hurt your business model because people wouldn't be excited about the new thing? Do you drip feed super slowly so people can get used to each codex, but then the team, the army that gets their codex right at the end doesn't have long with their codex before fucking inevitably 10th edition comes? Or do you try and find a happy medium? I do think they're trying to find that happy medium, genuinely, but it's tough, right? It's tough, and I think whatever they do, whichever way they go, they're going to get some criticism. Anarchy subbing with Twitch Prime, absolute hero after 90 minutes ago following me. So you clearly like what you see. What a legend. Who doesn't like it? Was it because of the ban button? Is it because of the? Is that what it's for? Thank you, legends. The Twitch sub goal, to be fair, is doing really well for this month. I set a goal at the start of July for 50 Twitch subs. You guys have smashed that. I mean, it's not worth as much to me as all the super chats that are coming on YouTube, but you smashed it. But if we then compare it to the YouTube member goal, in terms of actual members, Twitch is winning that one. Then I have to decide whether I'm happy with the super chats or the Twitch sub goal to work out who gets the giveaway. Maybe I need to do the metrics better, and then I'll just do giveaway to both chats this month because I haven't set it up very well, perhaps. Okay, don't tell us when the Chaos Space Marine Codex is coming. Just pause and blink 2 times if it's worth the wait or 3 times if it's upsetting. Now I feel like I can't blink because I'll give something away. I use Tabletop Simulator for X-Wing, but real life is better. Real life is always better. I'm still trying not to blink. Chaos Space Marine players won't know what to talk about if they get 2 wounds. Datsun Des does the exclamation mark beard for 20% off the Beard Struggle. Beard Struggle have said I can do some giveaways as well. They said I can do a monthly giveaway. I'm just trying to find out exactly how I can make it work so we can just do a random giveaway every month. They're clearly happy with how many of you are disappearing off and buying Beard Struggle products. Legends. But if you do go to the Beard Struggle and you use use LTDEMPS20 at checkout, you get 20% off any purchase. And that's a repeat code. You can use that as many times as you want as well. Just saying. I'm crying out for a generic Inquisitor Mini with weapon options. That's something that's interesting as well. They've come away from multi-part, multi-pose and gone to much more monopose, which I kind of love because I really love how much more detail they can put into monopose. But I don't like the fact that makes it less customizable. Really hard Really hard, sort of torn between the two, to be honest with you. Abaddon has a top knot, and he failed at most things he's tried. Only succeeded at Cadia because he threw his toys out the pram and stormed off to cry into the car. See, I feel like if Space Marines weren't just the main money maker for Games Workshop, and the lore did in fact dictate the future of the lore, the Imperium would be wiped already. Fight me. RTRT says, Dad. I hope not. Man, it's possible. Bristol Chess Times, player versus Codex debate. Let's be honest, most players don't want to admit that just maybe when they lost, they might have been a bit shit. Yeah, absolutely. Blame the Codex is just a gel free card. I do think, I categorically do think that Codexes do have an impact on how easy or hard the game can be to win or lose. Absolutely. But I do think the player is the biggest, most important factor in who wins. And let's face it, we're never going to know how much of an impact that has unless we get to a point where we have a tournament with the exact same terrain, the exact same armies, and we don't use dice rolling, we just use perfect mathematical averages. Then you'll find out who the best player is. Possibly, maybe. But then you're playing chess. Then you're playing chess. So you might as well go and play chess. So I started with Black Legion. This is Anarchy. I started with Black Legion, but as I got more into the lore and games, I started delivering Emperor's Children more and more. Question is, should I just stick with Black Legion until Emperor's Children get their book in 2028? Just thinking if it's like Death Guard, they will have completely different model range, and my CSM will go back to Black Legion anyways. So I think, I'd like to think that with the Thousand Sons of Death Guard Codex, we will see World Eaters and we will see Emperor's Children. I'd like to think that. Have no idea which way round they would be. I think narratively speaking, in the narrative for the some of the more recent releases, we've seen Fulgrim more recently than we've seen. Wasn't that so? Fulgrim took out Gulliman, didn't he? But that wasn't actually a recent narrative. That was narrative from not long after the Horus Heresy. So maybe Emperor's Children will be, but this is the gamble, right? They're not going to release them both. I don't think they would release them both in the same edition. Doesn't make sense to do that. So you'd be taking if you're waiting for Emperor's Children, you're taking a gamble that they're going to get the first one, and you're taking a gamble they're going to get it this edition, which it could be World Eaters. I would, at the moment, with the lack of options you've got for Emperor's Children, I'd probably just stick to Chaos Space Marines and hope that the Codex, which is guaranteed to come in this edition, is good. Sovmari subscribed. That's what my 8-year-old says. Sorry. He subscribed with Twitch Prime. Legend, thank you very much. Remember, subscribing with Twitch Prime is completely free. Steals from Amazon. Win-win. With a young kid and work, I can completely relate to struggling with a hobby mojo. Yeah, so I have like peaks and troughs. Sunday, I had some time, not a lot of time, but I had some time to do some hobby, and I really struggled to just get going. Other Sundays, I'm cramming it in. So it works busy, and works primary at the moment until you guys get me out of the factory. So that has to take precedence, which means the hobby suffers sometimes. But also because predominantly, if I have free time tonight, I'm talking to you guys and trying to provide some sort of entertainment. What is the DCTV's community's thoughts on Inc. 28 or a little niche like that? I don't know what that is. If you're in like Discord or something, chuck me a link to it, and I can I'll have a look, and I'll let you know next time. Ask me again in the future. I smell a Grey Knight range refresh in the offing. It'll probably be monopose though. I don't know. Can't be chaos 2 wounds. I agree. I've been waiting for that for years now. Vex element link from Dats and Des. Element of Legends. Don't try and order the new Beast Snagger box though, because you won't get one. In the States, I can't even purchase Be'lakor out of stock for well over a month. Already have Vigilus, Psychic Awakening, etc. Don't make you jealous at all. Here's an unpainted Be'lakor. This is an incredible model, by the way. I actually really, really, really want to paint him. So I spent some of Sunday finishing that model off, because then I feel like I'll get my painting mojo back if I get him painted. So, cool. Sucks he's out of stock in the States. Hope he comes back in stock soon for you, dude. If not, I'm sure there might be a way that he can be sent out to you. I'm sure we can maybe do that somehow. Do people play 8th a lot still? I don't think they do. I don't know anyone who plays 8th. I mean, I don't have use for the new books, even if I try. Should books be focused, all rules, all fluff, all campaigns? Yeah, in my opinion. Liam, check memes on Discord. I'm not going to look. I'm going to launch Discord. I don't want to look, though, because it could really upset me. And I think, yeah. Oh, now it has to install updates. Sometimes Discord really sucks, right? And it's updated just as I'm trying to load Discord up, because Dave Elliott subscribed to Twitch Prime after he followed me. What an absolute hero. So let's have a look at Discord. So we're in the memes channel. I feel like I've been tagged in the memes channel already. Let's have a look at. Let's go down to the memes channel, people. This is the for you who aren't in the DCTV community. This is the DCTV Discord that you can come and join. And this is what he's telling me that I look like. Really? Really? I'm not impressed by that at all. Cannot wait for the new Champion of Chaos when the Codex drops. We probably should. I think actually it'd be interesting if me and Winters did that at the same time. Not at the same time. If we did that again between him and I, but reran the same campaign with the new Champion of Chaos book against the Death Guard Codex, would be interesting. If Twitch did something like Super Chats, I'm sure they'd be coming in. They do. You can donate. I don't think I've got the alerts on though, so I would probably miss it because I just assumed no one would donate. So I saw 2 blinks in a row. You saw nothing at all. Absolutely not. Cannot wait for a new champion. Okay, we read that already. My daughter calls your man bun Mulan hair. She would also think you had a magic dragon sidekick, but we know you have nothing more than the delusion that by having a beard and a man bun, you don't look older than the people in the trendy bars you visit when you're at your head office in London. I don't visit those trendy bars, Ginger Steve, because they just pick on me. I don't want to be picked on. I don't want to. Monopays make so many armies look the same. So there is that to it. But the detail they can get in Monopose. If they hadn't have done Monopose Death Guard and they'd have done multi-part kits, I don't think they looked quite so Death Guard. So even chess is unbalanced just due to the first turn move Alpha Strike. Absolutely 100%. But it's a fact. I was going to be on time, but I was priming Be'lakor. So John, you could have primed my Be'lakor. You said you were going to make it tonight, John, and you didn't. You've let me down. You've let yourself down. But I love you, so you're okay. Liam, you've got to get hooked up with War Hipsters to get that Be'lakor finished. There's a hype train in Twitch. Ooh, hype train. Because Buck Up Live's just subscribed for a month at tier 1. Absolute hero. If you subscribe on Twitch during a hype train, you get extra shit. I know that's true because Mohawk Mini's told me. I don't know what you get, but you get extra shit apparently. Do you think that there could be some kind of redemption arc for the Heretic Primarch? Ooh. I think that would upset more people than it would make them happy, right? I think that would piss a lot of people off. Be interesting though, wouldn't it, if they did that? I'm super interested for a Heretic arc for a Loyalist Primarch. Like, can you imagine if Russ, who's been fighting in the warp for so long, the Canis Helix had consumed him and he came back some crazy world, like, werewolf, like, lunatic, and maybe was a bit more chaotic? I mean, I'm sure it pissed the space. Chaos Space Wolves, I'd be all over that. That'd be cool. Chaos Space Vikings. Yeah, I want some of that action in my life. I made the amazing decision the other night to do all my painting homework for my lessons with Mohawk by staying up till 3 a.m. with an airbrush. I felt like death today. Both Mohawk and my missus think it's because I'm old and saw the wrong side of midnight. Mojo for painting is cool, but sometimes your body can't take it. I feel that. Like, you see these horrible eyes? I'm up early tomorrow to drive up to London to head office. And it's a long day tomorrow. And I was thinking about driving straight from there to Steve's for the stream, to catch into stream and just chat to the guys in the chat, because it's fun. That's what I'm here for. I decided against it for that same very reason. It's like chess, but with more deep striking. With the release of Black Templar's teaser vid, do you think Valrak cried tears of joy on his stream or creamed in his jeans? Apparently, it was his most successful stream ever. So I'm super chuffed for him. He's a good guy, really. A bell end, but a good guy. He did both. I was there. Brilliant. People cheering on for me and Winters on Champion of Chaos again. Looking forward to it. That's where I recognise you. The Demon Engine Specialist Attachment versus Admech. That game got me to 40k. Legend. You are very welcome. And I apologise to your bank manager. There's trendy bars. They are pretty, but Marines do look very samey. Maybe. I've got Marines sat in front of me at the moment. And I've even painted one. You guys might not have seen this on Instagram, but look, I even painted a Space Marine because I was enjoying it. Ready? Pretty. There you go. Thanks for the follow, Awal Albert. I'm getting better with these names now, have you noticed? But yeah, I actually painted a guy. I actually use a decent camera so I can bring him closer. How close can I get? What's the focal range of this thing? Pretty good. There you go. So, yeah, I'm enjoying that at the moment. That was a little bit of a cleanse away from the Necrons. Cool. Just thought I'd share that. Monopose only looks the same if the paint scheme is the same. I'm here. What more do you want? I want more. You're also in Twitch as well. So Scrivo's going for the old Moog approach, and he's going to be in both. Cool. Wolf and Russ would be fun. I kind of like the idea of Wolf and Russ. I'm really keen on Wolf and Russ. Warhips' Be'lakor tutorial is class, so good. Yeah, so he actually DM'd me on Insta and asked if I'd go on stream with him to paint Be'lakor, which I don't know if I want to embarrass myself that way. Guys in Twitch, you've got a minute 20 left of the hype train if you want the hype train benefits, and subscribing during the hype train gains you those benefits. Apparently, they're probably not worth having. Just saying. Takes Lion to bring him to heal. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? As well, if Russ came back like werewolfy Russ, and then the Lion returned, because we have been told in the narrative that Lion is asleep beneath the rock. That'd be super cool. I'd be okay for that. Holy Emperor's Golden Balls, Demon Werewolf in space. I'm so down for that. Yes. Good man. Ginger Steve is giving out a tier 1 sub to Cozzers, which is amazing. So thank you, Ginger Steve, for giving Cozzers that sub. That's a nice thing for Twitch community to do. They can gift subs to each other. And it says level 1 complete on the hype train. How high does these levels go? Does anyone know how high hype train levels go? You've reset the clock as well. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds for level 2, but only 22% complete. I could show you this, but you'd be like the Matrix with loads of my faces. So up to level 5. Okay. Scriver says goes all the way. Brilliant. What about bringing back Ferrus Manus as the Primarch for the Legion of the Damned? I think there's enough narrative around Russ, Fulgrim, Angron, and the Lion that we've probably got Primarch releases for the next 5 to 10 years, right? I guess. Hype level 9,000 is technically the ceiling at the point we've bought Twitch off of Amazon. I like that, Captain. Thanks, Scrivo. Legend. What a hero. Nothing is monopose when you have hobby saw and green stuff. I'm not that brave, though. I've done some conversions. I kit bashed a Captain with some other bits and pieces to try and make a Primaris Azrael type of kit bash conversion if I wanted to be super cheesy and run my Marines as Dark Age. I could get it. Tell me if you want me to go and get it, because it's just off camera around there, I think. I'm not sure. So I like a bit of kit bashing, but it makes me nervous, because if you fuck it, then you've fucked it, right? And it's Des says gets it. Okay, hang on, I'll have to get it in a second. What's your favourite model ever, and why is it a Chaos model? I've just shown him Be'lakor. So before Be'lakor, there was a couple of other models I really, really loved that I put together that were so nice. Be'lakor is an incredible model. He's a really, really nice model to put together. He goes together nicely. The kit looks amazing. He looks big. He looks imposing. He looks scary. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Be'lakor right now. Werewolf demon hunted by Caliban's best demon slayers. Cool narrative, right? Just saying. Games Workshop, listen to me. All the Chaos ones would be easily demon. Everyone's saying get it. Right, I'm going to go see if I can get this kit bash model. He might not be there, so don't be disappointed. If I return in like 3 seconds without him, it's because I've lost it. No one say that was the best part of the stream. No one say that. That would upset me. I found him though. So I took a limited edition Captain, Primaris Captain, and I started putting together a kit bashed Azrael. Right, with it. It's got that sword is from the Blade Guard Veteran kit. The arm is from the Blade Guard Veteran kit, and the Combi Bolt Rifle Plasma is 3D printed. Just saying, 3D printed. So that's the things you can do with 3D printing, which is why Games Workshop need to be very careful. It wasn't the worst. Scrivo, is there somewhere we can see you play your World Eaters? Yeah, so there is. There's a couple of videos on Winters' channel, on Winters SEO. I think they're all 8th edition though. Otherwise, if you want to see me play World Eaters, if you want to see me play in general, then you can subscribe to deploymentzone.tv, where there's tons of videos of me playing my World Eaters. If you do go over to deploymentzone.tv, !DCTV, and you hit the subscription button and you set yourself up with a subscription, your first 7 days is free. So you get a 7-day free trial. You can then watch it as much as you want in 7 days. And then if you don't like the content, if you don't like DCTV, just cancel and we don't take any payment whatsoever and you're free to leave whenever you want. Or we chain you into a basement and you can't leave until you've paid at least once. No, not true. But you can cancel whenever you want. It's a no obligation 7-day free trial, so you're more than welcome to leave, as long as you cancel. If you don't cancel, then we charge you. Clearly, that's how it works. But if you love it, think about hanging around in DCTV for longer. You can join the DCTV Discord and the community. It's amazing. There's tons of good stuff there. And there's loads of content. If you go into DCTV as well, there's so much content in DZ. We've just started the Den of Imagination painting series. We're about to put Vanguard Tactics Academy videos in there. Tomb World is starting up again, which is a play on tabletop series. Winters puts at least one battle report a week in DCTV every single week. There's podcasts, there's tons of stuff in DCTV. So if you love Winters, Inquisitive X, get in there, do your 7-day free trial, realise it's amazing, and why wouldn't you want to? I don't know why you wouldn't want to. It's free for 7 days. What's not to love about free for 7 days? Grab Bellicor. He's right here. I'm nervous though because I haven't stuck him to the base, and I haven't stuck him to the base because I think it's Peachy and Warhammer TV told me not to, so I haven't. But what's super cool is they've put. Oh, I nearly dropped him then. They've put these tabs on the feet, right? I don't know if you can see this little tab here on the feet, and it slots into the base, so I can actually put him on his base. Right, I'm gonna go ballsy here and hold him up by his base. Cool. What a model. I put him down gently over here now. Who's Valrak from Fabius Bike? I feel like we need to be careful, right? Because when we get bigger than Valrak, I can't even say that with a straight face. When we get bigger than Valrak, this will look like we're bullying, so we have to be really careful. Games Workshop will just monitor the 3D printing world until it becomes a threat, then they just launch their own service. Of course, their people are aware of the threat. I think that anybody who thinks they're not aware of it is maybe a bit naive. They've got to be aware of it, right? They have to be aware of the threat of 3D printing. So I don't think that's a massive... I don't think that's going to be a massive surprise to them. And I think you're right. They've probably got an eye on it. I honestly, genuinely believe that Warhammer Plus and other things like this, other subscription models like this, are early ways of starting additional revenue sources on the off chance that the model supply revenue source starts to dry up a little bit in the future. I don't know. Right, I'm gonna shoot soon. So if you've got anything desperate you want me to read, you need to get it in soon. I can't decide whether to get Bellicor or a Bloodthirster. Bellicor. What do you want to use him with? Do you want to use him with demons? Do you want to use him with Chaos Space Marines? What do you want to? That's a key point. The standard Bloodthirster model is really, really nice. I have one. The standard Scarbrand model is okay. The Bellicor model is just beautiful. So let me know what you want to use him for, and I can probably help. Wicked stream from Chris Fraser. Thank you. Good night. Winter's Bat Reps was the reason I got back into the hobby. My bank hates him. A lot of people's banks hates Winters. He's so lovely. Grab him by his big old demon balls. Bellicor hands down. Yeah, so a lot of love for Bellicor. More importantly, wise Valrak. Some of us I missed what that was. Did Chris butter your feet in the end? Do you know what? We asked that question from the Endless Cacophony podcast on the livestream Bat Report, and Stephen Box just didn't know what we were talking about. Didn't know what he was talking about at all. Dats and Des chucked the link in for Winters, which is amazing. Thank you, mate. You're absolute hero. Demons of Khorne. If you're building Demons of Khorne, I kind of feel like you need a Bloodthirster before Bellicor. But hang on, I need to check something in the Warzone Charadon bot before I tell you something to make sure that I'm giving you a current rule. It's the worst thing about knowing other rules is I have to be so super careful what I say. Bellicor. Hang on, where am I going? Has the Khorne keyword. So you can run him in a Khorne detachment because he's a Khorne demon. There you go. So he can be a HQ choice in a Khorne demon's detachment and not break your Khorne demon's abilities. Win, win, win. Be'lakor it is. Do you think Forge World has a close date in the future if they bring all their models in to get? Yeah, so I don't know why, but apart from the fact they make stupid money, I don't know why they haven't already started to transition Forge World across to more plastic production. I think it makes sense, but you know, how much butter does Chris use on each foot? Too much, far too much. I have the Mask of Celeste and some demonettes, but I'm honestly about them cornate demons. I love you. We're gonna get on. You could get yourself Scarbrand. Yeah, I haven't stuck his wings and head on yet for painting purposes. Corn Demons is for heroes. You're my new best friend, Stanislav Brom. Okay, right, cool, perfect. Okay, how well does Be'lakor fit into Chaos Space Marine since Games Workshop is going this very anti-soup route? Well, Be'lakor has the Supreme Commander rule, so you can put Be'lakor in a Supreme Command detachment and then just run him alongside Chaos Space Marines. And he has to be a Warlord in a Supreme Commander rule, but that's about it. So you basically, for Chaos Space Marines, you then can't take Demon Princes, and I think you can't take the Cult troops like Berserkers and stuff. You can use his Army of Renown abilities as well, but they're not very good. But anyway, perhaps we'll talk about Be'lakor in more detail in another stream. I need to go. I've got to be up early tomorrow, and you guys will keep me talking for fucking ever. My Scriver says my CSM Warband is themed around Fleshhounds. The new Fleshhound kits, Scrivo, how good are they? How good are the new Fleshhound? I stopped showing models. Just shows how shit I am at painting. Cool, right, okay, perfect. You guys have been fucking incredible, as always. Monkey says, good to see the tech up and running. Well, we've been going for near 2 hours, right? And it's not broken. So that's a win in my book. That's an absolute win. Anybody who super chatted or subscribed or donated in any way or followed or subbed on YouTube, anyone who's clicked that link and gone and started their 7-day free trial in DCTV, you guys are all absolute fucking heroes. I'm super close to taking the leap and maybe doing this full time in the near future. I say super close. I don't know how super close it is. It needs to be really stable for me to take the leap. But thank you so much for all of that support that's coming in the various avenues. You guys are all legends. Thanks for hanging out. If you're new here and you've come from Valrak Stream, think about dropping a sub on YouTube and then sticking with us every Monday night at 21:30. Thank you so much for joining. It's an absolute honour to be able to talk to people like yourselves for 2 hours on a Monday night. Like I said, don't forget that tomorrow there is a live stream on Vanguard Tactics for a battle report. I won't be on that one. But Ginger Steve, fuck off. But there's a great bunch of guys kicking out live streams, and I do lots more. Do lots more streams with those guys in the future. Loads more, actually. And another super chat for Liam's Sleep Fund. I need that. So yeah, basically a massive thank you to all of you. Think about checking out DCTV. Don't forget to use Element. Don't forget to go to the Beard Struggle. All the links are below, including social media links, etc. What I need to do is I need to do a really big push to get my Instagram following bigger than Quipster's, because I just need to shut him up for a while. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I love you all. I can't wait to speak to you all. That's that super chat popping up. I can't wait to speak to you all next Monday. Be here, 21:30 UK time, and I will see you all then.